All right, guys, welcome back to Bros and Brews. I'm Vincent, your host. Today we have Mason, Brian, Justin, and a special guest, Roberto, Justin's friend, coming on as a guest. Hey, Roberto, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great today. Y'all, thanks for having me on. Allow me to be a guest today.
Sounds good, bro. Tell me a bit about yourself.
A little bit about myself, Roberto. I think you can tell by the name. Mexican background. Live in Houston, Texas. So a little bit cold out here today. But just a little bit about myself. Athlete in the past. Heard y'all talking about a little bit about dating, good with women. So just trying to chop it up today. See where we go with things.
Hey, yo, okay.
Yo.
Love to hear it. Love to
Sounds
hear
perfect.
it.
I have some crazy stories too. So
I got some Sapporo here. This is my
Can't
drink.
wait to hear. All right, what about you, Brian? What kind of drink you got today?
I'm with Mason there on the Japanese stuff. I got Orion here. Good shit.
Okay,
Fancy
okay.
can.
What about you,
Fuki
Justin? What you got?
Shogun.
I got Old Reliable McLow Ultra.
All right. What about you, Roberto? What do you got today?
Keeping it casual. Got that sparkling water. That Topo Chico never fails. Never fails right there.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Sounds perfect.
Keep at it.
And for me, I
Alright.
got the Devil's Backbone. Probably saw it a couple weeks back, but it's back. All right. You know,
Cheers.
Mason.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Yo, what's up, Vincent?
You know, you were saying you went on a date last week, Friday, right? How was it?
I think it was Saturday actually, but yeah, it was good. We went out, got some coffee, just kind of hung out and talked. Just like something casual. But I think we were there for like 4 hours. Like it was a good amount of time. But we're just talking, getting to know each other, and that. Yeah, it was good. It was really cool. We're gonna try and go to round one this weekend, which is basically like it's like a Dave and Buster's, kind of like an arcade. Never been before, but I heard it's really cool, and then she really likes it there, so that's why I suggested we go in the first place. So yeah, that's the plan.
She really likes it there. That
Pretty
means
dope,
she
man.
brought another dude there, or what?
I wasn't going to say nothing. That
Yeah,
is
She definitely
Cheers.
wasn't going
Prime-
alone.
Prime day spot. He said, "Let me
Oh,
drink
no,
my drink. I'm not gonna."
Yeah.
I'll just sip it in silence.
I never knew a girl that went to an arcade by herself. So you let me know.
No, she took her little brother, bro. Obviously.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
It's her little brother.
That's just my best friend.
Yeah, that's my best friend. That's crazy. You don't have to worry about him.
Be my 4 guy friends. Actually, wait. On the topic, since I just brought it up, I want to ask you guys: is it actually a red flag if a girl has a lot of guy friends? And if
No.
so, why is it?
Well, that's a hot take.
Can be.
I
I
think it's
already
red
kind of know
flag.
Justin's opinion on that, but kind of even higher level. Do you think guys and girls can be friends platonically without the desire or intention to want to either fuck each other or date?
I personally think so. Just I think it's like just kind of having that moral compass or like that standard,
Right.
like having that boundary set.
That's one
But,
for
yeah.
yes.
I'll say
Alberto? Oh,
for
yes,
me, it depends, right?
Mm.
If we're just talking like purely, can guys and girls be friends? Yes, absolutely. If you guys aren't like in each other's, dating pool, right? For whatever reason, whether it be like religion, age, like whatever it is, then yeah, you can be friends. If you just don't find each other attractive at all, then yeah, you can be friends. Now, that being said, if you guys are in each other's dating pool, you're both single or whatever, you guys both find each other to be like, attractive. Do I think you guys can be friends? I think for the most part, no. Like maybe 10% of the time, yeah. But I'd say like on the whole, it's pretty rare that it's actually like it'll actually work and be like an actual friendship and not just being friends while one person's waiting for the other to be single or want to date or whatever, and not have ulterior motives.
So you said They can be friends if they don't find each other attractive. Do you have girlfriends?
I do.
Do you have girlfriends? You
I
don't
do.
think they're attractive at all.
Some of them no.
Some of them are attractive though.
I'd
So does
say
that mean you don't really see them as friends?
they're attractive
So- so
people. They're attractive
Yeah.
women, but I'm not personally attracted to them.
Okay, that's a good.
Let me hear Roberto's
that's a
take
good answer.
before I go.
Go ahead. Let's hear it, Roberto.
I think when it comes to men and women, I think relationships have a lot of dynamics. I don't think there's a specific way to say you're friends or not friends, but I think there's levels of like maybe you flirt with a specific girl that you find attractive, but you know y'all never really the thing, or maybe there's just a girl that you just don't vibe with, but you're in the same friend circle, so she's just kind of a friend lingering around. I think there's a lot of dynamics to it. I think when it comes to very attractive women or like trying to be friends with them, I think it becomes a little bit harder because I think you may want to like wiggle in or try to get a little bit more from her specifically. But it definitely is just a complexity. I wouldn't say a definite yes or no, but definitely
So,
definitely
so
can
if you
interact
have
in
a
the same friend
friend,
circle.
if you have a friend that you supposedly be flirting with, right? But you're like,
Mhm.
oh, nothing would ever happen. What if the opportunity presents itself where, maybe she's a little drunk and she kind of like opens up a move for you, and would that be something that you would probably engage on?
I don't know. Might have to wait till she's sober, but I don't know.
Good answer. Good answer. But so that's the thing, right? So you said so that's more like the opportunistic part where Mason was like, "Oh, if like you find them attractive enough, you might just be waiting for that chance to come by." So are you really friends if that's the case?
Yeah, I think there's some women I could have some benefits with, but wouldn't really envision myself dating them or making my girlfriend like explicitly. So like I would have an entanglement with them, like Jada Smith, but wouldn't really go about making it more than that.
Bro got that dog in him. Let's hear it. Let's hear
I
it.
feel like there's different levels of friendship where if it's kind of like a mutual kind of thing and you don't text them every day or like talk to them every day, then yeah, it's possible. But if it's like a friendship that's like really close, you see them on a weekly basis or like you actually talk to them on a periodic basis that's kind of frequent, then that's a little bit problematic, I think, to me. So if you're like, let's say, only like Roberto said, you only talk to them because they're in a friend group, but you don't really hang out with them. That's kind of like acceptable. But if it's like you're going out of your way to like see them on a weekly basis or like just trying to hang out, then that's problematic for me. What about you, Vincent?
You already gave his
Um,
response. So right now,
Interesting take.
right now, two are in the middle, kind of like not a yes, not a no, kind of like depends. One's more on the no, Justin, right? You say you're more on the no?
Yeah, I'm more on a no from there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Vincent's more on the yes. No, he's like absolute yes. And I'm also
No,
leaning
no,
more
no,
towards
I wouldn't say absolutely, but like I'll lean towards.
Well,
Okay,
come on,
okay.
I
expand on
mean,
it.
like
Expand
if you
on
set
it.
yourself
Alright.
boundaries, then yes, it's fine. But there's some people like that don't set
Well, that's-
themselves boundaries with that other person.
that's with
you know what I mean?
anyone,
So
though,
then
isn't
it's
it?
open. Yeah.
That doesn't
That I
have
mean,
to
like
be
if
with
your
girls.
girl's
That's
not setting
general.
boundaries, if your girl's not setting boundaries, and then it's like it's like
Well,
no,
yeah, no,
it's not. It's
that's
leaning towards
obvious.
no, but
Absolute yes doesn't mean you have friends that are trying to hit on you and make a move on you all the time. That's not what a friend is. I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, some
It's 2024,
look.
baby.
You know what makes me
Those
think
are-
like it's not possible though is because I keep hearing from like some dudes like just because there's a goalie doesn't mean you can't score. I always hear that from like some guys out there. I'm like, damn, bro, I just don't trust like
it's
some
an evil
people.
world,
Goalie.
man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Who's the goalie?
Evil world.
Who's the goalie?
The boyfriend.
If they're like married or taken, you know.
Oh my god. Well, so you're saying it's more of a guy thing that
Yeah, and
kind of gives you
a
the
girl is
distrust.
like so oblivious, and they want to be like nice because they don't want to have this connotation of being like a bitch or like being rude to like some people. Like they'll say like, "Oh, I just don't want to be a
Damn,
bitch. I don't want to like be rude or something." They just try to keep like this thing and try to be oblivious or whatever. That's what my experience is. So
But
I
you
don't
think
know.
the thing is, my question is, are they really oblivious? Because girls, they're pretty fucking
I
smart.
don't
You
think
know, they
so.
pick up on
They
things.
like that. They like that compliments. They like that compliments that you keep sending. Oh yeah, that's a nice dress. Like oh, you look nice today. Whatever. Like oh yeah, let's hang out. Let's go get a drink. I miss you or something like that.
Yeah, but like,
I think it's
let's
that
be honest.
compliment
If
that
we
they
were
keep.
in their
Like,
shoes, we would like that too. So you wouldn't really like push it away, would you?
If you're in a relationship, yeah,
like I said, yeah.
that's
You
the
have,
boundaries,
I
right?
personally think it's like, yeah, it's just respect for your partner. I think that's what it is. Like, if you don't really respect your partner, then it's kind of like
Like,
you can't really expect them to, do the same
yeah.
to you for you.
I lean on yes. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna make that 2 for yes, 1 for no, 2 for maybe.
Mm.
I say yes because similar to what Vincent was kind of going off of, I think like every relationship you kind of have, there's certain boundaries with it, whether it's a girl or a guy, right? Your bros, um, you probably have boundaries with them too. It might not be as obvious or as frontal, but there are boundaries. There's always boundaries with any relationship, and same goes for any sort of girl dynamic, girl guy dynamic, right? And so if you're in a relationship and you have girl space friends, like if you establish that boundary, like then there shouldn't be anything wrong unless they're crossing that boundary. If they're crossing that boundary, then they can't be friends, right? It's as simple as that, you know. Um, otherwise, yeah, I think guys and girls can be friends if there's boundaries. But if you find them attractive, and you yourself know best whether you're like low key trying to like slide in or do anything, so that's on you, right?
Mm.
Like calling them a friend, like are they a friend or?
Let me give an example. Let's say there's a situation where they tried to have a relationship with this friend. It didn't work out
Okay.
because they didn't work compatible at all. What would you feel about that? If they had previous history of like trying out a relationship, but found out that they weren't compatible and just wanted to stay friends.
Hmm.
Cut out relationship with who? With me or like somebody else or what?
Just say your girl has tried a relationship with another person, found out they weren't compatible in like dating terms, but they have a history with them of like, yeah, and they're still like friends to this day. Would you trust that friendship?
Oh nah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Nah, that's crazy.
So that's like an example that makes me think like, I don't really think you could be friends if you had previous like dating with that person to this day. No,
Mm.
I think
friends
I
with an
fall in
ex
line.
too.
I think I fall in the line where I can trust a person until they give me a reason not to, So I'll trust them until again they do something that makes me say, no, I can't trust you, right? And so if they establish those boundaries where like they're dating me, they chose me as their partner, then yeah, I mean, I'll trust you to maintain that friendship with whoever it is with boundaries, right? Like obviously you guys might have had like a more flirty friendship probably before I came into the picture, but now that I am in the picture, if my partner establishes those boundaries, like, hey, like, this was our past, but that's in the past now. I'm with this new person, and like, kind of gives me that respect as her partner. Yeah, by all means, I'll trust that. Give me a reason not to.
Mhm.
I think going off that too, I think the other person should kind of give you that respect, like, oh, she has a partner. Let me not, do what I used to do, flirty and all that kind of stuff too.
I will say it's not on them
That's a
though.
good friend, in
That's
my
not their
opinion.
responsibility. That could be that might just
It's
be a
not.
good person, but that's not their
It's
job.
not. But Yeah.
They don't owe
Yeah,
you that.
it's definitely not. It's just a plus that they don't owe you that, but it's like a
Yeah.
plus. Like this girl can
Oh,
choose
absolutely.
some good people around her.
Completely
It's like
agree.
it's a green
Completely
flag.
agree.
It's like okay, but yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Any words on that, Mason?
No, I mean, for the most part, I agree. I think as long as there's boundaries set, guys and girls can be friends even if you had a history together. I just feel that sometimes the reason why I'm okay with it is because I can accept that the friend may still have feelings. Like, for example, let's say I was dating someone and then they had a friend or an ex that, they had previous history with, right? I can accept the fact that that person may still have feelings for my girlfriend, as long as there's like clear boundaries set and, they won't do anything. I'm okay with that. Like, I can accept that because I think it's more unrealistic to think that there's just no feelings anymore. I think that's just me being naive, So even if like they had a friend that they had previous history with, and maybe low key, like he doesn't say it, but he still likes my girlfriend, it is what it is. As long as he's respectful of me, and my girlfriend's respectful of me, then, I can accept that. I can live with that.
At the end of the day, she chose you. Or
Yeah.
no.
Don't fuck up.
Doubt.
I feel like you got a personal experience with this, Roberto. You have anything?
Nah, the only thing I'm thinking is, for example, I've had women in the past who now date other guys, and I've met them, and I still think that if I was to try enough, I could maybe sway them back. So how comfortable are you allowing your woman to have that choice when, I don't know, somebody might be capable of maybe swaying her over time or redeveloping those feelings within her?
If that works,
I think if
then
you like,
go ahead.
yeah, I mean,
She not the one.
enjoyed her, I guess.
Yeah.
She's not the one.
I
She's
mean,
I feel like if
doing
you're
that.
like, I mean, like for me, it's like if you're kind of like scared of her going out and dancing or whatever, clubbing or whatever, right? And afraid of losing her, then you kind of already lost it. She ain't the one, bro. She ain't
If
the one.
you're
already,
not confident,
scared of her
yeah.
burden.
If you're not confident in yourself in the relationship that you're in, then you're already in a losing battle. Like regardless of whoever, like everyone should be confident in themselves, right? Like, yeah, go ahead. Be like, yeah, I could get that back or whatever, But if I'm in the relationship, I'm the one that's winning right now, and I'm gonna maintain that lead until I don't. And if I don't, then that's that, right? I'll shrug it off, wipe the dust off my shoulders and be like, that's that. At the end of the day, she just didn't like me enough. And I want someone that'll like me as much as I like them, And I want to be able to trust them to go do whatever the fuck they want to do. Because in life, like, if I'm going to be with them for like, if I'm in it for the long game, if I'm looking to be with this person for 30, 40 years, right? They're going to be presented with so many opportunities where I'm not there and they can have a chance to like, go fuck around with other dudes. So I want to be able to trust that they'll choose me every single time.
I have another question. If you find out that your partner cheated on you, is it an automatic breakup and no chance of redemption, or do you believe in second chances?
It's over, bro.
It's
It's
over,
over.
brother.
It's over, bro.
It's over.
What if you feel
No.
like she's the one?
Unless she's like Kylie
She
Jenner, I'll
has
give her
supposed
another
to
chance.
or something.
Shit, not even Kylie Jenner. No, fuck that.
Oh hell no, bro.
Unless you're already married. No, if you're married to her, that gives you grounds for a divorce. You about to get that paycheck, bro. That cut. I'm like, go ahead, go cheat on me. We ain't got a prenup. No, we probably would, but she'll probably pay me off to be quiet. I'm down. Like 10 mil. Okay. I ain't gonna say nothing. You good? You good?
Good. She was
Right up the
great.
contract.
She was great.
That's why most celebrities ask for silence during their time of separation, huh?
Yeah, they get paid off. Yeah, no, there's no redemption from that. Would you give her a chance, Mason?
I can't say a definite yes or no. Well,
Mm.
I'm leaning more towards a no, like a definite no. But first, I don't think there's ever such thing as like a 100%, right? So I can't 100% say no just because I think I would want to say no just out of for my own self-respect, right? Like I wouldn't want to be with a woman that had cheated on me, right? I think that just leaves too much of a stain on the relationship and not one that I could live with. But if I was wondering, like, what if I was like dating this girl for like 5, 10 years? Like I was just madly in love with her. We have plans to get married, or we are married, or whatever the scenario is. Like I have a lot of commitment with this girl, and she has like one slip up, right? She got drunk or whatever,
Slip in?
and like I'm trying to imagine like if I had
Oops,
all
just
that
slipped
on
in.
the relationship, like because here's an example. This is why I'm bringing this up, and why I'm not saying a definite no. I used to always be an advocate of never ever being friends with your ex, like no matter what. Like I just think it's a bad idea. Like I don't think it's healthy. I think it just puts a lot of strain on any future relationships you have. Like I don't think it's good. But despite me always being in that camp, when it came time to break up with my ex, I decided to be friends actually. And to be honest, like we haven't really talked since, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna end things anyways. And end being friends. But the fact is I did say yes. Right. So it makes me wonder, what if we had dated longer? What if there's more commitment? Would I have truly wanted to like stay being friends? Right now I don't, but if the circumstances were different, you know. So going back to the cheating thing, I think when emotions get involved, right? When it's not just like me speaking from a place of like neutrality, I'm not super confident, right? I feel like 90 to 95%, I'd probably say I would break up. I would just end things there. But there's still like that lingering 5% that just makes me wonder, like, what would actually happen,
All right. That's an interesting take. Well,
Bro,
let's
if
take a
she,
step back. Would you uh, uh,
oh, I was gonna say, bro, if
take
she
a step
cheats on
back?
you, that relationship is dead, right?
Yeah.
I think like, look,
Hell
life
no.
is pretty fucking long. You have several years in your life, right? That relationship is dead. I'm cutting it there. You know, maybe in the very, very, very slim chance, way into the future, we cross paths again. Like, do you maybe then like it's a reset? Maybe we can try again if that spark is still there. But that would still be a lot of trust to build back up to even dare venture into those waters again. That's the only time where I can see myself ever getting together with an ex that cheated on me. Yeah, no, I wouldn't continue that same relationship afterwards. That's just that's gonna put too much stress on yourself to be in. You know, you wouldn't ever be able to trust her. You're gonna be second guessing everything she does. Like, be careful, Roberto's about to swoop in and steal your girl.
See, I gotta watch out for you, huh?
So like one step back though, like would you date someone that cheated before?
Ooh.
Do you believe people can change is a good question.
Well, I think those are two separate things. I mean, they're related, but they're two separate things. For the first question, if I knew that they had cheated on their partner before, before getting to the relationship, I think that's like a deal breaker. I don't think I would go into a relationship with that person.
Okay, what if you were you met them, and then you're like, kind of talking to them, like you're going on dates, and then she the breaks the truth to you, and they're like, hey, like I did cheat in the past.
The way you framed it just makes it sound kind of like it makes me want to say yes. But
do you believe like once a cheater, always a cheater, or what?
I don't believe so, actually. I'm kind of changing my mind now that you guys are talking about it more. I don't think there's such
She
thing
has
as
okay. Imagine a justification from her saying why she cheated. Would you believe it, or would you like second guess it? Because you're only hearing one side of the story.
It would depend
Mm,
on the justification, right? It would depend. Like at the end of the day, you gotta trust your gut feeling. Whatever she says, like you gotta have a little bit of like doubt in it, right? There's
like
always gonna be more
if it
to the
was
story.
kind of like a situation where like like you mentioned before, Brian, like we're going on these dates, like I'm like super into her and this and that. She's like a really cool person, and I feel like she's like trustworthy and genuine, and then she like comes forward and then brings that news to me. Then I'll be more inclined to want to believe her and make like, okay, it was like a one-time thing. Of course, it was like really shitty thing that you did, but that's not to say that people can't make mistakes. And again, if she like brought it to me, to my attention, like she just came forward with it, then I think I'd be more inclined to say, I could live with it and I could still date you. But if it was like something I felt like she was hiding, or like something I just kind of discovered, I think it changes the tone of that conversation a lot, and it makes it a lot harder to date her.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say this from personal experience because I have this situation where a girl said she emotionally cheated in the past and gave the justification of saying that she didn't love her current partner at that time. So you ignore the red flags at the beginning of the relationship. And if she does tell you, maybe your gut would like, sway you one way, but in reality, the answer is right there in front of you of being a cheater that might present itself again. So that's the reason why I'm going to say if she cheated in the past, I wouldn't trust her.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Roberto? You believe people can change?
I definitely believe people can change. I think there are some core values that you can see several hints of. But in regards to like this scenario with women, I don't know. I'm a firm believer in like survival of the fittest. So like, if her ex partner wasn't fulfilling her as a woman and she decided to go elsewhere, I think that says a little bit about him. Same thing if she was with me, I don't think she'd have the need to go elsewhere. So I'd be confident in that manner. But it's also a timing thing. If she was young when she cheated, now it's different once we get to the 25, 26 age group and she's still cheating then, it's a whole different conversation. But if it's like high school, definitely like early college, when you're just out there having fun, it's definitely something that I'd be more accepted of, like continuing to talk to her or build a relationship or try to mature her a little bit.
Mm.
Yeah. You grow and you learn, Make mistakes along the way, but you grow and you learn. At some point, you gotta know your lessons and know not to make those same mistakes. So I think I agree with that from Roberto, right? Like, I trust my ability to be with someone who wouldn't cheat on me. But at the end of the day, if they cheat on me, obviously there was something that I wasn't doing right, or even worse, like they're just kind of in that mindset where they haven't learned their lesson from being a cheater and didn't grow as a person, which says a lot about them. So it could go either way. It says something about me or it says something about them, right?
Any other dating topics you guys want to cover?
All right, I got a hot topic to end it off.
Okay.
Regarding dating, I've had multiple arguments with women over this, but I don't believe in like exclusivity at a young age. I don't think you've experienced enough. I have coworkers who like met their husband when they're like 15, and I'm just like, you never got the chance to like properly, hang out or experience with other men or have conversations or deep conversations or allow yourself to be emotionally vulnerable with other men. So you just kind of became comfortable or found that safe spot and just ended up there. So I don't believe in dating at an early age. I think like once you hit like 23, 24 is when you should start like thinking about it a little bit deeper nowadays. What do y'all think about that?
So like once you like graduate college, that's when you should start seeking out more of that exclusivity and
Yeah, I think
okay.
before you're kind of just getting comfortable with people or kind of just being selfish and wanting exclusivity for yourself. But I don't know. I think it's really hard to love somebody at a younger age when you know you're constantly turning your head or there are those little things that keep you interested in other women. So I don't believe in dating at a young age, and I always like tell girls like I can love you like your personality, I can love you emotionally, but I'm not just gonna put a title on you and expect that to be what our relationship is founded on, a title. That's just my thought.
I think it kind of goes back to like finding yourself, kind of like at an early age, just kind of going along, high school, college, and then get a job kind of thing, or whatever path you're kind of going down, and then like afterward, you kind of like be like, what do I really like? Like, is this person like, do I really want to be with long term? Like, is this hobby that he likes or she likes, something I like really, or is it just kind of like I'm following along what they liking, kind of just sharing and being like what Robert's saying, just being comfortable and just not really seeking out what we really need and want, So I definitely agree with what he's saying, and to a certain percentage. What about you guys?
Oh no, I'm just like thinking back to like high school sweethearts, those kind of couples. And really, yeah, it's kind of weird that they never dated anyone else or like talked to any other girls. So they don't really know like what's the best out there, and they're maybe just settling instead of seeing what the other people could offer them that might be better suited for their personality or compatibility and relationship or partnership in general. So I kind of agree with that sense until you become like get your shit together, because a lot of people in their 20s, early 20s, mid 20s are still figuring out their shit. And if you don't have that together, you're just going to bring your own problems into the relationship that makes it like more of a struggle than it needs to be. And that immaturity where it happens, might bring conflict again to the relationship. So, yeah.
What about you, Mason?
I'm thinking a lot about this, and my mind keeps changing. But I think right now I kind of have to disagree. And I first want to say that like I totally agree that you should meet multiple people, and you should kind of get more experience and just to see what it is, like what your actual needs are in a relationship, like what you're like, things you value, and just kind of understanding yourself and your needs. I think as you date more and more people, you can kind of explore that more. Because I think without doing that, it's kind of hard to really know. Like you can have ideas and you can have like your own thoughts on it, but when it comes time to actually being in a relationship, like some things may change, some things you can compromise on, some things you can't. And there's a lot that you learn and you grow through while being in a relationship. Right. So I definitely agree with, you should generally like meet more people and not just commit super early. But that being said, I still think it's completely fine and there's nothing wrong with, meeting someone like super early on. Like maybe in high school or even middle school, like whatever. Like you guys just meet super early on, you start dating and you just, stick it through all the way. You're high school sweethearts. You live through high school together, you live through college together, and afterwards, and you just still stay in that relationship, and then you get married and you end up with this person forever. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think there's kind of like something romantic about that idea. But I think the thing is that the reason why that can work is if both people, because obviously, like what Justin was saying earlier, you're both kind of developing and growing through your high school, your college, and afterwards years. You're still discovering yourselves, but that doesn't mean that you guys can't grow and discover yourselves together and work together to make it last. And maybe while you're growing, while you're kind of figuring out what you need, you can kind of compromise with each other in mind. So I think it can work. There's nothing wrong with it. And if possible, like it's actually pretty great. Yeah.
What about you, Brian?
In the middle. I see both perspectives. I think it really depends on each person. It's a very really being in a relationship versus just exploring options. It really depends on you and what you want out of your life, right? Some people, I've met several people actually who have very successful, very happy, high school or college sweethearts, that have been together for 20, 30 years, married, have kids, and they love their lives. They wouldn't change it any other way. But I'm also in that boat where like I've kind of gone both ways, right? I've had those relationships from a young age where, high school throughout college, and I've had those time periods where I was just dating around, kind of exploring and like really, meeting new people, all of that, right? So I kind of have a taste for like both sides of the spectrum. And there's pros and cons to both, right? I think I learn a lot about myself and being like a good partner, like when I am in a relationship, like you learn a lot when you're in a relationship, right? And you can only learn certain things while being in that relationship. But at the same time, when you're single, when you're kind of like, you know, exploring, figuring out like, oh, what do I like? What do I not like? You also learn what your boundaries are with people, right? Things that you probably uh prefer or desire from a potential partner, and you kind of cement like what your likes and dislikes are, and that's really helpful too. And you do meet a lot of different perspectives, and you get to see a lot, meet a lot of people with very unique views. So it's cool. You can go either way with it.
Mm-hmm.
Any other
Okay.
questions, Roberto's? Hello.
No, I'll just comment. I think what bothers me is like the women's like, or it doesn't bother me, but the part that kind of like makes me curious to what their idea of love is like the fact that I'll give you my time, I'll be with you, you know, 5 days out of the week already. If we're in close quarters, I'll text you throughout the day, FaceTime you, take you out to dinner and stuff. Where does the like want for me like to be like, will you be my girlfriend? Like what stage does that set? Or like to me, it feels like it's a restriction that's almost placed around you. Like if we're in a dynamic relationship and we love each other, there's no need to put a title on it for you to know that I'm exclusively, talking to you unless you want me only to yourself. And for that reason, I feel like you're restricting my ability to grow outside of the relationship with other relationships or dynamics that may come around the way. I definitely think that it's beautiful if somebody like gets married with somebody that they met at a young age, but at the same time, probably doesn't happen that often. And more often than not, more people are experiencing heartbreak than they are experiencing getting married with those. So it's just like, I don't know, something that I just kind of get curious about why women feel the need to say, like, hey, when are you going to ask me out? I'm like, dude, we clearly are a thing. Like, there's no need for me to drop the question, the big question. Will you
Mm.
marry me is a question that I do believe in. Will you go out with me? I feel is childish.
Mm.
I think that's just a societal norm, and it's a progression. Like how in life it's all about milestones, right? When you're like people celebrate um when you first learn how to walk, when you fucking turn 13, when you get a car, when you graduate high school, when you graduate college, when you get a job. There's certain milestones in life that kind of show your in a certain in a direction. It kind of like measures of, I guess, success or accomplishment towards whatever, is the end goal. And when it comes to relationships, that's kind of one of those progression steps, right? Where it's like, yeah, I know I'm like dating this person, but how come we haven't like really, gone through this milestone step, right? Where we said, oh, we're
I
boyfriend
like that.
girlfriend now. That's a milestone, right? And then that's when you make that next progression to, oh, will you marry me? And then now you guys are engaged, right? That's another milestone, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's just like a traditional mm, progression path that most people are used to, and kind of measures their idea of, oh, this relationship is working because we're moving through these progressive steps. um, Certainly there's other ways to go about it. You can make your own milestones that work for you and whoever you're seeing, but I think that's just the most commonly used and
Yeah,
most tried and true, I guess.
I like that. That was a good.
Mhm.
That was a good way to.
So I got a question. Like, is it like just you and your kind of circle of friends that kind of think like that, or is it like a cultural thing that, like, it's the dating part, asking?
Nah, it's just me really. I think
Mhm.
I don't know. I think it comes to stage. I think it comes to the fact where I don't know. I'm pretty competitive. I feel like some people want that exclusivity because they're scared to lose it if they don't have that exclusivity. Where me, I know like if I'm talking to a woman, she's not really trying to go anywhere. So I don't feel the need to make it exclusive for other people to know or like for her to know. It's definitely just me. Like people like constantly like tell me like it's such a like I don't know like a player way to look at it, like not wanting to be locked down, but I don't know. It's definitely just
So
me.
so if you're confident in her being like not looking elsewhere for whatever when she's with you, um, do you think it goes both ways where she should be confident that you wouldn't go elsewhere as well?
I don't know. It's hard.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I don't
See,
know.
that's the
So
thing. Like, what if I was gonna say,
Yeah.
what if
so
she
yeah.
like gives you a reason to not be confident in that, Like, what if she's like, yeah, I'm on the same boat. I don't want to be exclusive, or like we can go without the title. I'll meet other people too if it comes along the way.
Yeah. I don't know. I
I,
think
I
it's go ahead.
yeah. So I think it's like along the line of like communication.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you don't want to establish it, but she wants you to establish it. So you guys are on the same page, kind of thing. But you can just be open, be like, I'm not really trying to be exclusive for you. I'm still looking.
To be
I
fair
enjoy
though,
You can
I
come
girl,
enjoy what we
over.
have.
You can come over. You can come over.
I enjoy what we have. I don't want to just be us.
to be fair, I've seen relationships where like those boundaries were set, right? But then that expectation is still there. You know, Might be speaking from personal experience here, but like I had this friends with benefits moment where I made it very clear from the get go. I was like, I'm not looking to be in a relationship with you, and I don't think we'll ever be in a relationship together. And I plan to keep it that way. We can be friends, we can have the benefits, but the moment like you catch feelings, like it's over. We can keep it as friends, but we ain't doing anything else. You know, Look, I got a lot of flack for that from other people too, but I was like, I'm clear with this. I'm establishing my boundary with you. It's controversial, but I'm establishing this boundary, and if you accept those terms, then it's good. That's between you and me, not anyone else, right?
Hmm.
And she accepted those terms, but then later down the line, I find out like she thought, oh, we're eventually gonna date, and I'm like, what? Like her friends were like, yeah, she thought you liked her, and like you guys were eventually gonna like end up dating. And I was like, I established that that was never gonna happen, and I continued to communicate that. So on that note, like I feel like there are still gonna be those people who are a little delulu and will keep trying to push for that, regardless of your boundaries. Then you look like the bad guy.
Write that shit down, bro. Write a contract, make her sign that shit then.
A written agreement.
No, just pull up the receipts, man.
Look,
Just
I'm not
pull
the
it up.
bad guy.
Make her sign an NDA before
Look, send her a
everything.
text.
I was gonna say, have y'all ever came
Yeah.
across a relationship, a girl who's in a relationship where you feel like you'd be a better match for her?
Mm.
Yeah.
Where if she wasn't girlfriend boyfriend, you feel like that'd be a great time for y'all to build a relationship. But since she's stuck in that circumstance, you gotta, I don't know, play it a little
Mm.
differently.
I
What, play the
see.
long game?
Play the long game. It just makes it difficult. And that if that title wasn't there, I don't know. Maybe I'm stuck on the subject, but I think there's been women where I came across where I'm like, I swear I could love you 10 times more than that guy. But
See,
unfortunately,
this feels like we're going back to the very first question of the podcast. Was like, can guys and girls be friends? You know, this seems like kind of related to that, where it's like,
If that's your perspective on a girl, yeah, if you find her attractive and you find that spark, then yeah, obviously you're not really being genuine friends with her. You're kind of like playing a game, that long game. That's still playing the game. That ain't actually being friends with her, Let's
mm,
be real. That's not you're not being friends with her. You're just playing a game and hoping
we
to
friends,
score.
we friends.
We friends
Yeah,
until he
okay,
fucks up.
Legally, my friend.
Friends, friends.
nominally.
No. But genuinely, no. On the flip side, from a girl's perspective, let's be real. We all know girls be holding that roster in the back of their pockets. If that relationship they're in ain't working out, they got a roster. Like I see it happen.
They'll be calling you, Roberto.
Way too fucking quick, right? I see it happen
I'm
all
a
the
six
time.
man of the year.
They get out of relationships, suddenly they got like 3 or 4 dudes they're talking to. Like, where'd that come from? Like
Yeah,
right
close.
out? That's crazy.
Like,
You know?
she's like, how the hell you know Roberto? He's not even from.
You flew out? You flew out?
Yeah, what's going on here?
Exactly.
On my
So
LinkedIn?
it's just like, yeah, I guess it goes back to your question. It depends, right? Can guys and girls be friends? Depends if they're answering truthfully on whether they see them as a friend or not. But girls, they also have that mentality. Like there's another thing, right? So this is my take on the difference between guys and girls. I think guys can not ever learn to love someone. Like guys either are into them or not, right? And they they either know or they don't know, or they won't. No, my bad. They either know they will know whether they will love them or not love them.
Hmm.
Girls, that shit is so gray area. Like they can hate someone, they can look at someone with absolute disgust and then come to love them. They can be like, "Nah, that guy's disgusting." Then suddenly, you know what? Hey, yo, what the fuck? You guys are together now? Like, shit like that, Or they can find someone super attractive and want to date them, and then afterwards they're like, "Nah, not about it." So,
Well, there's
That's my
actually
hot
like a
take.
study too. It says women take longer to fall in love than men. So
not in Roberto's scientific studies. He's like, I don't know about that one.
It don't take long, man. It don't take long. I actually have a class on relationship advice. I'll drop a link in the chat.
Okay.
Shit.
Oh,
I didn't know
I'm
you were a
joking.
coach.
Yeah, let me
You're a
take that
coach
class.
out here.
I'll pay $10 to see Roberto's little lessons.
Take some notes.
All right.
I want to know how
Dog.
Roberto takes a girl out. Like, what do you show her
All
a
right.
good time?
Actually, you know what? Sure. Robert's like, what do you do? Like, what's your
I got you,
ideal
Mason.
date?
Let-
Like, do you got
let
like
me
a
put you on game.
strategy? All right.
Let me put you on game. Yeah, so you want to do something that makes both of you vulnerable. So like, and it's fun, right? And it's maybe just causes a little bit of laughter, like ice skating, something like, I don't know, like you said, like kind of going to the arcade or something.
Mm.
But you always want to make sure it ends like with a dinner or going to grab drinks, where then you could then talk in a more like sound setting, like where it's not as funny, but you're still able to like to recollect like experiences that y'all had that night and just be like, oh, it was so funny how you fell or something. And just constantly have those like moments of laughter where she's like getting intrigued by your humor. I think that's the biggest thing. You can have humor, but then you could also be serious and just like, just talk to her. Hopefully it's a dark restaurant that you chose, middle of the night or something. It's kind of just setting the mood. And definitely having like a two date. It's not like a take her to the arcade and they take her home, because that's just having a one place date is just, I don't know, it's just not it. You're gonna leave her wanting more, and you're gonna wish you had a little bit more time with her that night.
Okay.
So like off of that, did you have a second place they wouldn't take her after the arcade, Mason?
Honestly, no, not off the top of my head. And
Well, write that shit down, man.
the
Write that
reason
shit
why,
down.
no, the reason why is listen, because typically I would do something like, okay, let's get the arcade and like let's grab drinks after or something, right? Or like, oh, let's grab dinner, like Roberto said, like something like that. That's typically like what would come to mind. But like, I have a couple of restrictions I'm working with here. Number one, she lives with her parents. Like she's still like my age, like 25. But she lives with her parents, and then her parents are pretty strict, and they have a curfew. I think it's like
Red flag.
10. It's like 10 or 11 p.m. that she needs to be home by. All right, so I'm like, I'm trying to think like
early.
I'm trying to think like, okay, like maybe we get to the arcade at 7, play for like an hour, hour and a half, and then go grab dinner, and like maybe like trying to fit in there. Like, okay, maybe that can kind of work, right?
Daylight
But then
savings, man, it gets dark at 6.
Those get dark at
Sure.
6.
It does. And then the second restriction is that I feel like she's a type. Well, for one, she's pretty lightweight, and then I think she's a bit more hesitant to grab drinks too early on, right? Because when I first offered, like for our first date, I was like, "Hey, like let's go to a bar and grab drinks." That was like my first date, proposition, And then she was like, "Oh, like I'm not like feeling comfortable with it. Like I just got sick, so my throat still kind of hurts." And like I was kind of getting the vibe that like I don't want to go out for drinks, like take the hint. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like we can grab coffee or something, like something chill. Right. So like based on like me talking to her so far, it feels like I have to do some more planning. Not that I can't go to a second place, but I'm just trying to think more. Right.
A little bit longer.
Yeah.
Third, fourth date kind of probably thing.
Dessert.
Yo, I want to take a step back too. And Roberto, do you take her to a third place, or you just ending it off at 2?
Take her home at that point. You said she going home.
I'm always swinging for the fences. Got to catch a vibe.
Oh yeah, are you doing it? Taking her to a third date on the first date? Third place on the third date? First place? Oh, sorry, what? Third place on a first date or no?
Look, I'm not saying no. You know what I mean? It's just, it depends what vibe I catch for her. If it's my vibe, we had a great night. I just gotta be honest with you. Like, hey, I don't want our night to end here. What are you thinking? And then whatever she says, I'll quickly pay that tab and start driving.
Write notes, Mason. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm taking mental notes.
Not when she has a curfew.
Why is having a curfew a red flag? Is she like?
I wouldn't say a red flag.
I was just
No,
joking.
because Brian mentioned it earlier.
I just think like it's good that you live with your parents and all, like you're saving money, that all that jazz, whatever your circumstances are. I think I'm already getting to an age where I'm like, I expect my partner to be someone who kind of established themselves and kind of live on their own, or if they're living
Boundary.
at home, or if they're living at home with their parents, that their relationship with their parents is one where their parents see her as an adult, not as still a kid, who has to have a fucking curfew. Like, what the fuck? Like you're fucking 25 years old and you still have a curfew. Sorry, like I understand Asian culture, but at the same time, it's like you're at an age where you should be able to challenge that. And yeah, that's just my personal belief on it. I haven't lived at home since I graduated high school, so yeah, I just would prefer someone who if she's living at home, she's doing it more because she's saving money to actually buy a place or something, or her work situation's not too great, maybe, but at least her dynamic with her parents are more like, I'm not just their kid anymore. I'm an adult who can make my own decisions. If that's not how the circumstances are, then yeah, that's kind of a red flag for me. Because if you end up dating the person, you're dating their family too, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nah, I don't wanna be involved in all that.
You think when they have like strict ass parents, are they like more like a freak from your personal experience? Because that's what I noticed. When they're like have strict ass parents, they're like kind of a freak because they're so controlled by their parents. They always try to do something wild
So
outside.
I'm not gonna say anything on the record there.
We'll cut this out. We'll cut this out.
No, you gotta end the recording. Nah.
That's it. That's it.
No, end it. I'll cut it out.
I think everyone's different, and typically when people are restricted, they want to be, they look for ways to be free, like, and that can come in many different forms and ways. So
Roberto, you laughing like crazy over there. You got a personal.
I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that.
I like Brian saying that as nicely as possible. Like that was written by a PR team for sure. He was like, I think people with restrictive parents just like, to be more expressive,
When they can. So, no shame. Do what you gotta do, girl. Do what you gotta do. I'm here
So,
for
yeah.
the ride.
I guess
It's a
we're
roller
going off
coaster.
of that, like just
I'm the passenger.
Brian's in there like, dang, your parents strict, huh?
try to be more expressive.
She
Hey,
expressive,
let
all
loose,
right.
baby. Let loose, baby.
She loose or she tight?
We got all night. We got all night.
You said you got to be home by 10, huh?
I'll get you home by 10 a.m.
What is this?
10 the next day, right?
At 10 a.m.
Look,
Well, yeah,
I'm over the days of hiding in someone's closet. I'll put it that way.
Wait, what? You're in someone's closet? That's crazy.
Those are some crazy days.
You got to tell
Oh,
that story.
Those are the younger days. And listen, when you're at a point where you live on your own, you're just like, you're over it. Like, I ain't sitting in the closet holding my breath because someone's dad is walking in.
Cheers, then, guys.
Cheers, bottoms
Cheers to another
up.
episode of Bros and
Cheers.
Brolies.
Thanks for
Bottoms up.
joining us, Roberto.
Thank you.
Yes.